Hey, Wealth family. It is 12:03 p.m. Central Standard Time, October 29th. We have 2 more days left in this monthly candle. You can see here that in the month of October, price on gold came to all-time highs here. And we know that gold has rejected 4,308 and 44, this area right here. So we know that since we're in all-time high territories, there's nothing to the left that we can actually look to see what rejected this. All right. So this is our monthly candle here. Our monthly candle looks like it's coming in for some type of reversal action. I'm going to come down to my weekly here. So here on our weekly time frame, we have 2 more days in this candle, and it looks like price wants to create an evening star, but this fair value gap here is stopping it. So I'm going to mark this fair value gap up because this is where we got our rejection. But then I also see that price created a flag down here. And I want to see if gold is eventually going to come back down and retest this area before continuing higher. But right now, we are trying to focus on the right now money. So this is the zone that I see price trading in. Now, we've ran last week's low, and I'm going to mark up 50% of last week's candle because we ran last week's low and we are currently underneath it. Let's mark this 50% up, and then let's mark up last week's low. All right, so let's zoom in so you can see it. This dotted line right here is current price. We're currently underneath last week's low, so we need to get inside of this zone, retest it, and then we can see where within this zone we can continue to take price to. So I'm going to come to my daily time frame here. And here on my daily, it looks like price just came into a daily fair value gap. So we may not continue higher. So I don't really see, I see a little fair value gap here, but I don't really see another area here on the daily that I would want to mark up except for here. But let's go a little bit lower here. All right, so we're on our 4-hour time frame. All right. So, excuse me if you heard that, I'm sorry. So let's go back to our daily. This was our fair value gap that we just marked up on our daily. We have 3 hours and 53 minutes left in this daily candle. If we come here to our 4-hour time frame, price has given us an evening star on that daily fair value gap here, and price has closed underneath our weekly zone. So this could be indication that price wants to continue lower. And then we also came into a bearish order block. This is our last up candle before the down move here. So here on gold on our 4-hour, this area here sent us back up. All right. So if price wants to come down, the only other area I see this area here, although price already came back into it, it can come back into it again. And then also, this area here was the last area that price broke out of before continuing higher. So this is the first time that price came back to it. So we could continue higher. We are inside of another fair value gap here. Here. All right, so price didn't reject that 50%. We got a nice bearish momentum candle that closed underneath. So I'm not going to worry about this fair value gap here. My zone that I'm worried about is our weekly low here. So I need price to come back and retest and reject for me to know that price is going to come lower, or I need price to get on top of it and then reject to go higher. So let's come down to our 1 hour time frame here. All right, so zoom out. If we zoom out here on our 1 hour, we can see that this was our last high here. Okay, so this was our structure point that had to be broken. So I'm going to mark this structure point up here. All right, so price impulsively broke this structure point and never came back to it. There's a fair value gap here, right here on the structure point that it never came back to. So eventually I would love for price to get back up there. I'm sorry, excuse me. It's cold here and my nose is on 10 today. All right, so this area here was the last area that price broke to go lower. Right here, this was our last area of rejection. Price broke that area. Now it looks like price is coming back to retest it. And if we draw this all the way through, right here, we can see on the left that this area here was an area of rejection, okay? All right, so price has come underneath it. And this is a bearish sell pattern here. Price starts to move up, right? So I want to see, let's see. There's a fair value gap here on top of all of that. That price hit twice. All right, so we got us a little double top here. We got an inversion and a fair value gap. Price created a price balance range, came underneath, traded back into. So it's already starting bearish patterns here, bearish price action signals. I want to get underneath this area since I missed this zone here. And then let's actually mark up this trend line here. We got 2 points of rejection. Okay. So we can be a seller underneath this trend line here. Okay. Do not be a seller until underneath this trend line. And then this is our weekly fair value gap here. The only other zones, I was trying to find a zone that hadn't already been touched. We got this fair value gap here, which price should come here next. And then this one right here is open. Nothing has come back to retest this area. All right, so we're in this fair value gap here. And price is making bullish internal structure, because this is our last zone here, our last structure point, our last lower high that took us to our lower low, right? And nothing has broken this area here. All right, we just came back and tested it. And this is our last lower low. This is internal structure here. So this is a pullback. So this area here was our daily fair value gap. This green area here, if we come to our hour, we've only touched and rejected this area once. And this area here was our breakout area that price had to break out of. So, like I said, I'm not sure if price is selling or buying. What we are waiting for, I want to change the color of my weekly low so I can know which one it is. I'm going to make it purple. All right, let's go back down. Purple, purple, purple. All right, so this is our weekly low. This is that daily fair value gap. I'm just going to remove this zone here. It's not really needed. All right. So these are my main areas to let me know where we're going. This daily fair value gap, and then this is our weekly low here. If price gets on top of our weekly low, then I am looking for buys for price to come back into here. All right. If we can get underneath, break, and retest this trend line, then I'm going to look for sales. My first TP area is going to be back here to the low. My second TP area is going to be here where this fair value gap was on the 4 hour, right here. All right, so I want to look at my indicator just to see what the indicator says price is doing. The indicator says price is still rising. All right, so we've come into a little bit of oversold territory. If it's underneath this 50% point, that is the beginning of oversold territory. Of course, the deeper it is in the white, the more oversold price is. And it also looks like price is making an ascending channel here. And an ascending channel is a sign of sell momentum, sell movements. All right. So this is looking like an ascending channel here. So this could possibly lead price back up. The main area that I'm focusing on is last week's low. All right, so we're at 50% of this fair value gap. And then there's also a gap here. And if we pull this one over, then we got a lot of rejection here in this area. And it was somewhat aligned with our trend line. So if price comes all the way down, right, and see if we can continue higher, this will be our impulse here. This is our impulse move. We got these nice, beautiful 3 bullish candles. And then these are also called, this is a white soldiers candlestick pattern here. All right, so let's mark this up one more time. I need to make sure my candlestick colors are different. I'm sorry, my line colors are different so that I can know what is what. So my weekly zones are going to be purple. This is our weekly low. And then 50% of last week's candle. That's the wrong part. There we go. All right. So if price comes back up and trades inside of last week's candle, right? Retest the last week's candle low, then we can look for an area inside of here to take profit into. And then if price just comes back, rejects it one more time, then we can take it lower. And this actually would be the next target here. Here, there we go. All right, and then remember, eventually, I would love to see price come into here to retest this area. All right, so now let's get back down to our daily. This is our daily fair value gap. Right, we got underneath our weekly low. This is our weekly low. Price traded back to our weekly low, trade it into this fair value gap here. All right, we're getting an evening star here on this fair value gap. Just need price to close underneath here would be great. This area here was that weekly fair value gap, which is the same as that other fair value gap that I marked up and said that we were going to take it to. So that aligns great. So that's a nice bit of pips, guys. 160 pips. Pips, points, whatever you want to call it. Gold moves a lot. Let's put our trend line back. And then this fair value gap here. And this one. All right, so remember, don't be a seller until price comes underneath this trend line here. Because we don't want to get chopped up in here. With this gap right here aligning with the trend line, this area here would be a perfect entry down to here. That is more than enough pips. 133 pips. 133 pips, depending on what the wick looks like, would be depending on where you put your stop loss. This is a big stop loss, but this could be where you put it. There should be no reason for price to get all the way up there, but wait for the reaction here at the zone, and then you'll get a better stop loss. All right, so it looks like this fair value gap here is being invalidated. So as soon as it's invalidated, just delete this area and then watch this area. Especially with the given internal structure here. All right, so that is my analysis on gold. That's what I'm waiting for. So market is always going to do one of three things: buy, sell, or consolidate. And we wait on our confluences for price to let us know what the market is doing. And currently, I wouldn't be a buyer or seller right now, personally. I wouldn't be a buyer until price comes back and rejects this trend line to go higher or gets back on top of my weekly zone here. And then we'll take it back to this area here. All right, so that's gold. That's what you have for buys, and then that's what you look for to sell. Today is Wednesday, and this candle is almost closed. Thursday seems to bring the volatility back into the market. Tuesdays and Thursdays are the best trading days. So we'll see. You can look here. This was that daily fair value gap here. We can come back to the 4 hour and we can see that price created a morning star here and then came back, retested it, gave you a pin bar. So it would be nice, to get this pullback here. Okay, so I didn't see this 4 hour fair value gap here. I would take it here to be safer. I would take it here to be safer as far as buys. We had inducement here. Price didn't come back and touch 50%, but price gave us a great big sell off. All right, guys, this is all I have. Let me know if you have another pair that you need to mark up before tomorrow when we get that volatility back in the market. I'm going to be looking for an entry either tonight during Asia or tomorrow during London session. All right. So y'all have a good day.